Welcome to Issues and Insights. I'm George Pennington, your occasional host, and today we have a whole panel here from the Civil Air Patrol, Kentucky 131. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. And if you would, I think we've got Colonel Jordan Clouse, is it?
Correct.
You all right? If you would, give us a little bit of your background. And people, we could do a 30-minute show with this young man. He has quite a background. I actually checked it. And there's a couple speeding tickets, but we won't say anything about that.
Right.
Okay? We won't say too much about that, will we? If you would, give a little bit about your background and how you got into Civil Air Patrol, and then we'll go on with these other distinguished guests this morning.
I retired Army 37 years. So way back before the internet in '79, I graduated high school. But before that, I was in Civil Air Patrol.
Oh, then?
And yeah, way back then in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And so I liked it, and I went in the Army, but through Civil Air Patrol, I knew how to drill in ceremony, rank, and all that. So I went to basic training. I had a smaller learning curve. Not that it wasn't hard, but so I liked it. It was good. And then throughout the Army, doing stuff, and then retired in 2016, came here. I was a civilian attorney out of Fort Knox, and just happened to see, I was at some Veterans Day ceremony, and there was Civil Air Patrol that came in for color guard.
Okay.
There's Civil Air Patrol here. So I checked into it, and then joined the squadron here, and became the squadron commander a year later. So the military background, I get it, and also being Civil Air Patrol a long time ago, I really enjoyed it. So it's a chance to, it was good for me when I went in, and so it's kind of like giving back.
Yeah.
And kind of mentoring the kids coming in now.
Now, it's an auxiliary part of the Air Force, right?
Yes.
Is it state funded? Is it nationally funded? Is it all volunteer? How does it work?
Both. As an auxiliary of the Air Force, we have the three missions: cadet programs, aerospace education, and emergency services. The cadet programs, it's kind of partial to both. Cadet programs, aerospace education kind of is together. We say we're developing the future aerospace leaders of tomorrow. So some of that's aerospace education and leadership, values, morals, everything else. One thing we do is take cadets out for orientation flights, about an hour.
Okay.
They get 5 of those front seat rides in their career, but they actually go up in the plane. I give them the controls, kind of show them how to fly the airplane. That's all Air Force funded. So Air Force gives us funding for the cadet rides. Some of the other stuff is from state funding, from the wing.
Okay.
The wing is the state headquarters.
Okay.
And so cadet programs, aerospace education, and emergency services. We trained to be air crews or ground team if there's a natural disaster and they need aerial surveillance or pictures or something. We could launch an air crew and find somebody, take photographs of, or if there is a natural disaster, and we need to man a distribution point, or whatnot. Some of that is Air Force funded. If it is if the request comes to the Air Force down to us, the Air Force is going to fund it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's through state funding. And last year with COVID, we Mission Hope for Kids. We helped box up 100 boxes of food and toiletries for those less fortunate that may have lost their jobs. And so that was an emergency service type mission to kind of. One of it is volunteer service, giving back to the community. So some state funding and some federal funding, depending if there's national type implications involved, like natural disaster, or O-rides that the Air Force is paying for. CAP owns the largest fleet of Cessna 172s and 182s in the U.S.
That's what I wonder if y'all own the planes.
CAP does, and they distribute them out to the wings, and the wings distribute them out to the units and whoever is flying the most.
So where do y'all fly out of when
Elizabethtown.
Okay, right here.
Yes.
Okay, I know your office was there.
We
so
fly
I
out of Elizabethtown. However, I like to fly. So tomorrow I'm flying to Bowling Green. I'm flying 6 cadets for O-rides. On Sunday I'm flying to Danville. I'm flying 4 cadets for O-rides. So my weekend's already taken.
Yeah, it is.
Because I just got a request yesterday. Can you go Sunday to Danville? Yeah. Flying for free? Of course, I'm going to be there. But for our cadets, we fly out of Elizabethtown.
When did you get the flying bug?
When I was 15, and my mom took me up. I love flying. Just this, especially 747s. This multi-ton piece of metal leaps into the air. that's just fascinating. How does this thing even fly?
Yeah.
And we're at 35,000 feet. You're basically sitting in a chair in the middle of the air, just kind of having to. That's fascinating. So I've always been fascinated by flying.
And you got your pilot license? What age?
I finally got it just because of the Army, and I got my pilot's license in 2010. I earned my license.
So you took care of those speeding tickets?
Yep.
Okay.
Took care of it.
All right.
But I got my license on December 7th, 2010, flying over Pearl Harbor. So I got it in Hawaii.
Oh my goodness.
So my check ride, my FAA check ride was flying over to Arizona on December 7th of 2010. I figured might as well go all the way.
Hey, go all the way. Good gracious. Look at that. Look at that. Drama right here.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Go big if you're going to do something. Why not? So.
Absolutely. All right. We will get to everybody.
Yeah, enough about me.
But no,
you guys are more fascinating.
I want to do an hour. I want to do an hour on you. Now we pan all across the way, ladies. We definitely will chat. But there's Professor Eli Cron, K-R-A-N-N, right?
K-R-A-A-N.
K-R-A-N, all right?
You said professor?
Professor, yeah.
Professor.
Yeah, you will be a professor here pretty soon. You will be a professor here pretty soon. Give us a little bit of your background, and also tell the audience something interesting happened to you. You got a phone call a while back, and tell us about that. Give us a little bit of your background.
Okay, so I joined Civil Air Patrol about 2.5 years ago, and it was literally just one day at school, someone came up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to come to Civil Air Patrol one night?" And I went, and I really enjoyed the meetings. I ended up joining, and I've really enjoyed my time here. We've gotten to do a lot for the community, and a lot for our squadron has grown quite a bit. I was recently accepted into the Air Force Academy, and I think that Civil Air Patrol really played a role in that. I think that it's definitely developed my leadership skills, just talking to people and being out there,
So when you did your application, is there a long involved application process?
Yes,
I would expect so.
The application is involved.
Did you write up how Civil Air Patrol had been a part of your background?
I talked about Civil Air Patrol in my extracurricular activities.
Right.
I talked about my cross country. I talked about track and Beta Club, and I think Civil Air Patrol was a big one.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm grading your if I'm on the scholarship committee, yeah. Now, when did you join Civil Air Patrol? How old are you? You're what? You're 17 now?
Yes.
Is that right?
I was a sophomore in high school. I believe I was 15 years old.
Okay, got you. Now, did you know this gentleman then?
He was actually just becoming squadron commander.
Who was squadron commander at that time?
It was
Lauren McElrath.
Okay,
yeah.
that other guy. It was that other guy, wasn't it? Yeah. Now, when you go, so tell us about going to a few meetings and what your perception was then.
So when I first came to the meeting, I was a little bewildered. I didn't really know how to march. I didn't know how to speak in front of people, because sometimes we have group discussions, and I'm not really always used to that. But I would say now I definitely have a ease with talking to people and guiding people and mentoring people.
Yeah, well, good. So now, do you have a pilot's license already?
I'm working towards it.
Are you?
I take flying lessons. I've actually soloed, so that means I've flown a plane by myself with the instructor on the ground.
With the instructor on the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. How long does that process take? Is that a couple-year process?
It depends on the person, how motivated they are.
Got you.
I've been taking flying lessons for probably 1.5 years.
Okay.
With going into the academy, I don't think I'll be able to finish it up before I go to basic, but I certainly do have that experience beforehand, and I think getting my pilot's license later, the time that I have built will help me in the future.
I hear there's some planes out in Colorado Springs area. Okay?
Perhaps.
I think there's one or two. Yeah. So you might be able to catch a ride. Okay, we'll get back and forth to people. Now, the next young lady, is it Berenice Blanton?
Yes, sir.
Is that right? And you're like 32? Is that what you told me? 32?
No.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, 16.
Yes, sir.
Give us a little bit of your background and then how you got to Civil Air Patrol.
Okay. Well, as you know, I'm 16. I joined CAP about 1.5 years ago, and I joined CAP because I heard they had a cyber program, Cyber Patriot. So Dad got to looking around and he found out that there was a squadron in Elizabethtown. So, I joined and I liked what I saw. I found out about all of the other awesome things that CAP has to offer, with aviation, leadership, and I just fell in love with the program.
Cyber, what's the cybersecurity? What's the notion of that? How's that?
So we have a Cyber Patriot team, and I'm our team captain. So it's a national competition that the Air Force Association started. And, in this competition, youth, so middle school and high school teams, are learning how to secure these virtual networks. So it's just educating them about cybersecurity.
Okay, gotcha. So did you get to hack into anything?
Well, that would be fun.
It would be fun.
It would be fun. But with Cyber Patriot, you're doing more of the securing and defending, so preventative things, changing passwords, maybe going through on some of the challenges we had. There was a hidden keylogger or something that you had to go and try and find.
Gotcha.
So a lot of preventative, securing, not really hacking.
When you do this little competition, do you go to a physical location to do it, or did we do it virtually this year? How did it work? And how big's your team?
Our team, so last year we competed with 4 people.
Okay.
But
Is it statewide?
It is nationwide,
Nationwide, okay.
yes. So there are thousands of teams all over the nation, and also Canada now. So it has, yeah.
I'm just messing.
So, it's really grown. We meet at the co-working area, 111 co-working. HCC was more like, they were great. They gave us that co-working space with fast internet, because when we first started, we were house hopping and we went to Vibe for a while, and the internet was really slow.
Yeah.
So you're waiting for the images to load, because they report back to Cyber Patriot wherever they're at. So you just open the image and it's reporting back to that scoring system. So you can be wherever you want to be.
Right.
And that's the way the competition worked too. But as a team, we all like to meet in one area.
Gotcha. And then do you get your results right away, or does it take a while? How does that work?
Well, we know what our score is, because the scoring is just constantly updated.
Okay.
But as far as our ranking goes, state and nationwide, we find that out later. It usually took about 3 days for all of that to come in. So the suspense, waiting to see how we did.
Is that the first time the Civil Air Patrol has entered that competition?
It's the first time our squadron has.
First time your squadron.
So we're moving into the 14th season of Cyber Patriot. I don't know when CAP got involved with Cyber Patriot, but it's the 14th season, and our squadron started up their Cyber Patriot team last year.
Gotcha.
And
so,
it was great. It was challenging at first, because first year team. But we ended up placing 3rd in state.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay. I shouldn't ask. How many people? How many groups in the state competed?
So
say like 28 or something. Okay, say like 28.
Between 20 and 30.
Oh, they really did?
Yeah. So with everything that happened last year, there were less teams competing than usual, because meeting and everything was messed up. But but between 20 and 30
Rock and
competed
roll
last year.
Hardin County's done well with robotics nationally, haven't we? So you go ahead and carry the cyber flag. Go ahead and carry the cyber flag, even though you're not a Bruin like Professor Eli down there. You're homeschool Bruin, is that right? You're a homeschool Bruin.
Currently,
or Panther,
yes, I'm
or Panther maybe.
Yeah, next year it'll be a Tiger.
Oh, you're gonna be a Tiger.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. Now, and we'll get back to you guys too. But I think right here we have somebody from the University of TK Stone. And I was at the University of TK Stone many years ago, and I still pop by there occasionally. And it's Molly McElrath. Is that right? And you are, is that grade 7? Is that correct? Okay. Give me a little bit about your background and how you came to learn about Civil Air Patrol and your involvement with it.
Well, my dad knew, or he's in the Army, so he knew a lot of people who did Civil Air Patrol, and he said that they really, it really helped them. and he found out that there was one here, and he took me to a few meetings, and I really did enjoy it. And it's given me a lot of different experiences I wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Now, how old are you?
I'm 13.
You're 13. So you just did you join when you were 12?
Yes.
Is that the minimum? You have to be 12? Okay, all right. So you joined this group here. So what was your first several meetings like?
Well, it was back in September, so the guidelines were still kind of strict, and you had to meet outside and all that. So we would go and meet at a park, and we would just, like the first meeting I went to, I think we did like model rockets, and we would watch those, and that was really fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then a lot of them we would learn about like the core values, and then we would go play ultimate frisbee and just things like that.
There you go. Ultimate frisbee's good. So where'd y'all meet? Freeman? Or at the nature park?
The nature park.
Yeah.
I live next to there, so I carried my little
nice.
golden retriever around there quite a bit. So, but yeah. So you've been in since September.
Yes.
Have you gotten a chance to do your flight yet? With COVID, it's probably restricted that a bit, but have you gotten a chance to do your first flight?
Yes, I have.
You have? So when did that occur?
I actually can't remember what month that was
I think
in.
it was October.
Oh, it was sometime last fall then?
Yeah.
So it was?
October, yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know with COVID to what extent being able to take cadets up would be curtailed.
It just, at that time, it was just one only.
One only,
Normally we
okay.
have two cadets, one front, one back, but with that, masks, and then you just have it, the pilot and then the co-pilot, the front seat, that's it.
Gotcha.
Just eliminate third
Gotcha.
cadet from the back.
Yeah. So what do y'all have, what's planned for this spring for you guys?
Well, can't really say much about this spring, but I can say that, volunteer service, that's one of our core values.
Right.
So, we're really big into participating in the community, helping our community out. So, we're looking forward to participating in any community events that may be going on, volunteering.
So y'all heading up to Derby this year?
No, not this year,
Not this
but
year?
hey, it may be a possibility in the future.
Or a lot of groups go up there the day after and do fundraisers. don't
Yeah.
they? A ton of them do.
Yeah.
So what's y'all's involvement historically with Thunder over Louisville? Have y'all had an involvement with that?
2 years ago, when they actually had participation, I know we went up, it was a field day.
Okay.
We took several cadets up, and we were able to go in and see the static displays.
Oh, did?
And
Good.
everything. And we didn't have any direct involvement or extensive, other than going in as part of a CAT group to
Gotcha.
see all the
Gotcha.
things. The one thing at the same time that year, a B-17, the aluminum overcast, came into Elizabethtown, and we helped kind of like marshal people, and we're standing at the front and the back, making sure people just went in one way and came out there. But the night before we had our meeting, so the pilot said, "Hey, y'all want to tour the B-17?" So we all got to go in, and
Wow.
I never knew a B-17 was that skinny inside and that narrow. You had to be pretty skinny back then to at least navigate.
You're still lean. You're still lean.
Well,
Yeah, look at you. You're still lean.
I mean, well, I can set the standard, but I got too many nice suits. I can't get a whole new wardrobe, so no, you got to, take care of yourself. But that was fun. For this spring, we are currently looking at fielding our next Cyber Patriot team for this season.
Okay.
So she's looking at, some people are interested. We are standing up a Stellar Explorers team, which is something we haven't done before. That is working with NASA and others, where it's a national competition, but people that, you want to be a rocket scientist or a NASA engineer, we are actually taking NASA principles of designing and building rocket systems and everything else. They're going to be applying the same principles that NASA uses to how do we launch this thing, put this in orbit. It is more of an aeronautical space type competition, just like Cyber Patriot is for cyber. Stellar Explorers is more those rocket scientists and budding NASA engineers. So we have interest in that. So we're getting a team fielded for that. And then next month we're doing an emergency services exercise where we're going to learn first aid for some of the cadets to be ground team members.
Okay.
And they're doing stuff with the emergency services. But I'm excited about getting our next Cyber Patriot team, seeing how much better we can do, and fielding a Stellar Explorers team as well.
let's win it, but not tell anybody we've won it, okay? Or not let people know. Not let people know.
Well, our goal
Let's
for
really
this
be
season,
cyber. Let's really be cyber. Let's win it, but be stealthy. Now, just curious, what did I just write down? I just wrote down something goofy. Have you ever been to the Dayton Flying Show?
No.
Okay, I didn't know. I believe up in Dayton they have a pretty good size air show. I believe it's, I don't know, July or something like that. And I didn't know if that's something a group would do, or do y'all get a chance as a group to
We
see,
could.
to see it?
2 years ago, I wasn't there, but Major Jett, our deputy commander for seniors, and several others went up to the Air Force Museum out of Dayton. And the way they did it is
Wright-Patterson right there, isn't it? Right?
Each cadet had an aircraft or something that they would give a little presentation on.
Okay.
So it's not only just go look,
Yes.
but it's like have some function to it, which aircraft or whatever interests you. So they went there and they got just like a candy store to me,
Yes.
like air museums. But then each one of them would stand in front of that plane or whatnot and just give just a little brief presentation about it, so they actually learned something besides just looking at this entire museum. So we did go up to 2 years ago when we could actually travel without the restrictions to the Air Force Museum, and I heard that was really, really well received. I'd like to have us do that again at the Kentucky Aviation Museum. There's lots of museums around here we can go to.
You know, for Chap Brett Guthrie, maybe we can get something sponsored. You know what? I'm thinking.
He's got an in with him.
You got an in. I'm down Bowling. I'm down Bowling Green quite a bit. I'm down there quite a bit. Okay. So you know, you never know. Oh, I know what I scribbled and crossed through was Elon Musk. I'm hoping he offers a competition and funds it for Civil Air Patrol and other people to learn the basics, because he's a wild man. So yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Y'all know Elon Musk?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do.
Yep.
That's wild. What other civic projects do y'all typically do during the year that people might not know about?
Sometimes people will ask us for like an honor guard or a color guard.
Okay.
They're having some formal event that we can present the flag.
Sure.
Sometimes they like that. If there hasn't been any parades, but if there's a parade, we can do that. Last year in Halloween, it was awesome. It was treats in the park.
Okay.
And so we packed about 1,500 of these little treats like that Monday before, because there was hardly any. Halloween was cut back. So and it was great because we had things backed up for miles down to the traffic circle. So it was awesome. Here's this huge traffic jam. But 3,000 or more cars came through the park.
Freeman Lake Park?
Yeah.
Yes,
And the treats in the park. And we were handing out, we were in costume, and we were handing out every other, because us and somebody right next to us, because we're kind of alternating.
Yes.
So that any chance we get to kind of help out, and they loved it. And we're showcasing CAP.
Yes.
We have a little banner there. It's like, what's that? Yeah, that's Civil Air Patrol. So that was fun. Things we can do to kind of help, we're there. I enjoy it.
What do we... there's a lot of students out there who probably don't know much about Civil Air Patrol. How can they learn about it? How can they contact you? How often do you meet, et cetera, et cetera? So give us some background. Any of the cadets here.
Okay, so I would say that the best way to learn about Civil Air Patrol is come to a meeting. Before you are able to join, we require 3 meetings, and that's just so that you can learn about who we are and what we do. We meet at the Elizabethtown Airport from 6:30 to 8:30 on Monday nights.
Okay, 6:30 to 8:30. Typically every Monday?
Yeah, every Monday.
6:30 to 8:30. That's right down here on Kitty Hawk, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, right here at Addington Field. Yeah, okay. And typically how many people are involved in meetings?
Right now, I believe we have about 20-some cadets.
For real?
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's getting pretty cramped.
We got 43
We've
people
grown a lot,
total
yeah.
and about 26 cadets. And almost all of them are showing up at the meeting. It's
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a small airport, so maybe you're looking for a bigger space, but it's great.
Coach Addington, could you add on a little bit for us? Coach Addington, okay, you hear me. You heard me. You need to add on a little bit for these young men and women. Now, when I read about the program, it has a place for seniors. So
Yes.
what does that mean?
That's for the
Not
adults.
old geezers like me, people
yeah,
like 30
but
and
you still,
30,
you
35.
You still need a core group of people to actually run it.
Right.
To teach, and air crew can only be adults.
Okay.
And you don't have to be a senior. I don't want to be a pilot. That's okay. If you
Right.
want to fly, you can be a mission observer, you can be a mission scanner, you can be an airborne photographer. So there's things you can do, and we'll get you up flying. but you don't have to go through the process of becoming a pilot.
Yes.
So senior members, the adults, once you turn 18, you can become a senior member, and you're going to be teaching some of the classes and mentoring our cadets so they can run the cadet program. But we need the adults to run the squadron, run the program, do the emergency services, coordinate all that stuff, because that's the adult leadership and mentoring that we have. So we need adults. We need seniors. Retired military, you want something to do?
Right.
That's great. So we need adults to be ground team leaders,
right,
and everything else too. We need more mentors, people that love aviation and love developing kids.
Sure.
So, yeah, I say it's the glue, but it's the core that actually makes the squadron run, so we can help develop these folks become the leaders that like him on the Air Force Academy, and her maybe something cyber hacker, but a white hat, but something maybe a computer science degree or something.
Excellent.
And her whatever she wants to do, whether it's aviation or whatnot. So that's my goal. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah,
going to the Air Force Academy. That's awesome.
That's impressive.
Yes, that's great.
That's impressive. I used to go to school out there. Not there, but
in
up
Colorado?
the street from there.
Okay.
Up the street from there, 100 years ago. Yeah.
I heard it's really pretty out there.
I heard it's really pretty. Yeah, it is. It was. Even back in the early 70s, it was nice out there. We have just a couple, maybe 1.5 minutes left. So, is there a phone number they call? Do they go to a website? Do they just show up at Addington Field on Monday night? How's that work?
A phone number's mine. I don't have secretary, so yeah, 270-401-2960. That's me.
270-401-2960.
20960. That's my number, and I answer whatever questions they have.
Okay.
And then we have
We have a
Instagram page, we have Facebook, and we do have a website. I'm not sure what the address is for the website.
It's etowncap.com.
Okay.
And our Facebook and Instagram page, it's both Elizabethtown Civil Air Patrol.
Okay, Elizabethtown Civil Air Patrol. That's the best way to contact. And then they touch base with that. And Instagram, he's on TikTok, so you can probably TikTok him, right?
TikTok.
You can probably TikTok this
That's
guy.
the next thing.
I'm
We're
sure
trying
you
to get
can.
him to go for
I'm
TikTok.
pretty sure I've seen your videos
They're
on there.
TikTok.
Yeah.
No, TikTok. Instagram is no.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Hey, I'm not sure how we are. We've got just 1 minute left, and I want to tell everyone I appreciate your time. I'd like to chat with you sometime. Just do a program about you, and we'll leave out parts of it. Okay, we'll leave out parts of you. Miss TK Stone, good to officially meet you, and it's good Miss Swank let you out this morning.
And she's
So,
13 and learning to fly before she's able to drive a car.
That's awesome.
So I like that.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yes, and you, Miss Berenice, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Rock and roll, study hard. Okay, don't get detentions, especially at home school.
Yeah.
Don't get too many detentions, all right? Yeah. Professor Eli, rock and roll out there, your plebe year.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Aim high.
I'm rooting for you. I was Air Force 100 years ago. Yeah, so there.
That's great.
There you go. Appreciate it. We are wrapping up. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you to Professor Noah back there, Gina, or back there, and everyone who are our writers, choreographers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you for HCEC-TV, Issues and Insights. We appreciate it. Come back.
Good
Thank
being
you.
here. Thanks.
Thank you.